Hey, busy business people. I am here today with another entrepreneur taking action, Melanie Branch. She helps neurodivergent ADHD entrepreneurs overcome imposter syndrome and become their most successful selves. And I'm getting the scoop today on how she does it, so stay tuned. Okay, so Melanie, what is imposter syndrome and who does it affect?
Imposter syndrome affects at an adverse rate women way more than men. And it is your inability to attribute your successes and your abilities to yourself because you can only attribute it to an outside factor. For example, you get a promotion at work. Your first reaction is to say, oh, well, it must just be because everybody else that was up for it or wasn't very good. It couldn't, the people that gave me the promotion must not know who I am or anything. And it is the distinct feeling of not being deserving of what you have. Feeling like a fraud.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I have seen that a lot with women, especially. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. So you said you work with ADHD and neurodivergent entrepreneurs.
It affects the neurodivergent brain so much because we already have a tendency and a predisposition to rejection sensitivity dysphoria, to CPTSD, to a hyper-independent trauma response because our needs were not met from the very beginning of our existence, because most of us, especially high-achieving women, are getting our neurodivergent diagnosis later in life. So through your masking and your coping skills, the imposter syndrome is really the only means for survival. So it was first noticed in high-achieving academic women in 1978. Two psychiatrist women went, you know what? Every time we ask these women in academia, you're talking professors, you're talking women with PhDs, every single one of them reported feeling as though their peers were going to discover that they actually didn't know what they were talking about, that they were not inherently smart, that they did not deserve any of their achievements. So when I found that out, that is the originality of imposter syndrome, this is where they noticed it. I said, those women were probably very neurodivergent. Because you can't think that the pool of academic women in 1978 was very large.
Right.
It would probably take a very brave woman to be in that space, which was inherently male. And cis white male at that, if we're going to be honest. So it took somebody that was very strong and very powerful and very, very capable to even run in those circles. And then I see it every single day in my neurodivergent community of not taking a risk because what if I fail? Of not speaking up even though you know about the subject. Not being able to describe yourself as an expert in your field, even though you're an expert in your field.
Yep.
So I got frustrated. Absolutely. I said, I can't have this anymore. I got to help these women get through this because it's not going to work.
Yep. I was talking with somebody the other day, and it's like she's been really striving to get on some of the bigger stages and really expand herself as an expert and really start doing more with public speaking. And she was just getting frustrated, me and her both, because it's like we see men primarily, they're willing to advocate for themselves more. They're willing to grab the microphone. And some of them are really good friends of mine. I am so happy that they got that opportunity, but I'm also really pissed at myself that I wasn't grabbing the mic. I wasn't owning that expertise, and they got picked and I didn't, just because I wasn't putting that energy out there. And I think that was one that really hit home coming into conference season right now, because there's so many big business events going on, so many big opportunities for public speaking. And we were talking about it, me and several other women have been talking about it. And it's like, we've got to do better. We're like recommitted over this next year to, we're going to do more with video. We're going to make more asks. We're going to ask for those stages more and more and put ourselves out there, because it's like, that was the biggest difference that we saw. was the guys are willing to make the ask and we're not.
Yes.
It was just
I
crazy.
I really feel so called to speak on the subject because I'm in a house full of men. My husband, my 2 sons who are 14 and 12, and my 2 male dogs, which if we're honest, they're all cis white men passing, okay? They all have that. They all have that working for them, right? So I said, I really understand the patriarchy as a whole because I'm seeing it firsthand and I have to raise 2 of them to not be part of it. I mean,
Yep.
down to, yes, I work from home and everybody else leaves the house, but I'm not the only one that sees the dog hair on the floor. Why am I the only one grabbing the vacuum? So, when I do see an opportunity or I do, receive an award or somebody, a man kind of steps out of turn to you, right? I literally ask myself, what would a white man do right now? What would a white man do right now? What would an entitled human being that is not raised in a society to care for others, because that's what we're supposed to do as women in our society, is take care of everybody other than ourselves. As long as you take care of everybody else and you burn yourself out, you're doing your job. For example, I went to one of my favorite restaurants yesterday to really find some inspiration, really stir up some stuff in my solar plexus, right? It's just got a lot of action. It's got all my favorite foods, right? I sit down at the bar. It's a long L-shaped bar. You got like 10 stools and then like 4 stools. 2 dudes up here, 5 open stools, and then the other end of the bar. I sat down in the middle of those stools so there'd be 2 next to me and 2 next to me so other people could sit. I wasn't bothering anybody. I had my hot pink headphones on because why would they be any other color? And I'm just scrolling my phone. A man comes and sits right next to me on my right. Right next to me. Not right next to the men over at the other end of the bar. Not right next to the men at the other end of the bar. Right next to the pink-haired girl that was minding her business. And wouldn't you know, me ignoring him was not going to fly. And he actually tapped me. And I had a reaction. I no longer mask, too. So I'm no longer... I'm going to manage other people's emotions, right? I don't care. So this guy taps me and I went, like jarred. What's happening? And he went, and I didn't even say anything. I just moved one ear out, looked at him, and he said, I'm going to go outside and vape, and points to the backpack that he was about to ask me to watch for him. The person who's not working, not talking to anyone, has headphones on. But because I was the only female presenting person at that bar, of course he felt entitled for that to be my responsibility. So before he could even finish that statement, again, the ADHD brain moves real, real fast. I was 10 steps ahead of this guy, right? Before he could even finish that statement and ask me to watch his stuff, I said, okay, put my headphone back on and looked at my bartender, who's also a friend of mine and also knows that I used to be in the restaurant industry for 10 plus years, right? And I looked at him and I gave him like the rage eyes, and he comes running over and he goes, I'll watch your stuff, bud. Don't worry, I'll watch your stuff. He was watching this whole thing go down. That guy leaves, goes out front. Mind you, it's all glass. He could have watched his stuff the whole time. Plus, he was standing outside the only exit. What are you going to do? Just grab your stuff if they're stealing it. Just take it back on their way out, whatever. What could even happen here? I understand completely that you felt entitled to interacting with me because I was existing in a space next to you. And in all actuality, he was existing in a space next to me because I was minding my own business and he sat down next to me. So, long story short, he comes back in, and goes to tap me again to apologize for scaring me. And I said, I didn't mean to scare you. And they do one of these, right? Because it's a crazy volatile woman. I didn't mean to scare you. And again, I just, okay. Went back about my business. Here's the thing. If my husband were sitting right next to me, that guy would not have talked to me. He would not have felt entitled to tap me and ask me to watch his shit. The same thing, sorry for cussing, but it happens. Same thing a couple days before, minding my own business, jamming out in my headphones at the grocery store, as a neurodivergent is wont to do with sensory needs and everything. I don't take my shades off and I have my headphones going real loud. I don't even know where I am most of the time. No, can't do it. It's too much going on. Man walked up to me while I was trying to figure out the spices I wanted to get. And I went, And again, I don't say anything. I don't engage. I just remove one ear out. And I looked at him, he goes, where's the spaghetti sauce? I said, I don't know. I don't work here. Put my headphone back on, left. Didn't even get my spices. Here's the thing. Because of those interactions, because we're raised in a society where one half of the species believes that they're entitled to interactions with everybody around them, and the other half of the species, female presenting people, are expected to manage other people's emotions. No, not here for it anymore. That's the reason why I wasn't taking any risks. That's the reason why I didn't believe in myself. That's the reason why I couldn't call myself an expert. No more. Done. Done.
Man, it's like I'm feeling called out now because, like, yeah, 100% me. And I've seen people doing that with the headphones and the stuff at the store, and I still haven't been able to make myself do it. It's like I want to so bad. Now I just kind of like zone in. I think I'm going to try that.
I will tell you,
because I do get just overwhelmed. I end up just rushing through the store
sensory
and just grabbing whatever I need to grab.
Do you know in Australia they have a quiet dim hour in their grocery stores? It's like the first hour of the morning. So they have like an old people hour, like an elderly hour. And then they have this sensory hour where the music is dim, or the lights are dimmer. The music is lower. It's incredibly easier to be in.
Oh man, that would be amazing. Like I have whole spaces I just cannot exist in comfortably. Like, you know, going to the grocery store is one of them when it's busy. Like I just can't. Or restaurants where you're seated too close to other people and the music is way too loud, and it's like I just get frustrated and I just can't exist. And I think that kind of it hampers us from a business standpoint as well, because it's so draining to exist in some of the in-person networking environments. It was like being able to do stuff more online has helped tremendously. Being able to do things like we use GatherTown instead of Zoom. And GatherTown puts you back in control of your interactions with other people, a little bit more like being in person. It's like in Zoom, you're on the whole time. So if there's 10 people in a call and you're kind of co-working together for a little bit or something like that, you're there the whole time with all 10 people. Same thing with like online events and stuff like that. They just throw you into Zoom rooms with rando people and you're just like, I don't even know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Gather lets you walk up to somebody and it turns your camera and microphone on, and then you can walk away. So like stuff like that has helped, even just from a business standpoint. But I know when I went to Austin for the first like kind of in-person thing last year, and then went again a few months ago, and some of the other people, some of the guys, the neurotypicals, they're just having a blast. They're shaking hands, they're getting to know each other, they're laughing, they're hanging out. I'm sitting here like, get off the couch. Get off the couch. Go shake hands. Go shake hands. So thankfully, I have a couple really good friends that I went with. And I was like, I'm going out here so that I can network and meet people that, you know, are going to help me with some of my objectives in business and things I want to do, put me on more stages and things like that. I was like, when you guys are walking up and talking to those people, will you please bring me with? Can I just shadow you? Can I just follow you around? Can we do that? Because like, I cannot just walk up and start a conversation with somebody I don't know. And so they did. It was great. And I got to make a lot of really good connections. But I feel like we have some challenges even in those environments, especially now that the world's starting to open back up a little bit more and there's more conferences coming up. There's more in-person things coming up. And it's like, I think I've got 3, 4, 5 in-person things before the end of the year to go to, which is just like, whoo. I'm going to be in a Neuro-Spicy coma and anti-peopling for like a whole 3 weeks.
I will encourage you to incorporate rest days into that, because, you know, we have to recover from interactions with people, and to go into these spaces without fear of, you know, meeting new people and introducing yourself and whatnot. I want to remind you, and then everybody else listening, that we have a little thing in our brain that says, you're not smart enough. You don't know what you're talking about. Prove it. Right. But in all actuality, I have over 100,000 followers on TikTok. Nobody has ever come on my page and commented, You don't know what you're talking about. The worst thing that happens is I have a video where I'm eating Doritos and talking because for some reason people really enjoy the pink-haired girl eating, and it's fine. And the only thing that came on, it was 5 entitled men came on that video and said, so funny you're talking about ADHD and you're eating red food dye. Here's the thing, buddy. I'm vegan. I don't eat red Doritos. And those are the ones that have red food dye. I was eating purple Doritos. So again, the only person that overstepped and was audacious had nothing to do with me. So when we go into these spaces and we're like, okay, so I'm going to have to talk to these people. I'm going to have to meet these people. Oh my God. Nobody cares about you. Everybody's just there to build themselves up and to make themselves better. So anybody that's going to be like, hey, I'm Melanie. It's so nice to meet you. This is my business. This is what I do. What do you do? Then they're just on to the next person. No one's going to overanalyze the interaction more than you are. And the only thing that you're overanalyzing about the interaction and the things that you're replaying and you're harping on in your brain is what you said.
Yep.
So if we think about it logically, then the only thing that everybody you interacted with is doing in their mind is what they said.
And see, I don't think that's something I realized until I started working with a friend on yep. I started working with a friend on some of the messages I was sending to people because I was like, okay, how do you think this is worded? How do you think, like, did I word this right? Like, what do you think before I hit send? And they're like, why are you just hit send? And I was like, did you not pay this much attention to the words that you're typing and you're sending to people? No. I want to tell them this. I'm going to tell them this. And I type it and I hit send. Do you do this every time you send an email? Yes. And
that
a Slack
sounds exhausting.
message. And a Hangouts message. And a, like, yes, because it's words. You have to craft the words. So now I've started being like, okay, I give myself like 1 minute. Oh, a lot. All the time. Like, I've started using my little egg timer to make me not, like, overthink. I have my little timer dude now. So I, like, turn it on, and I'm like, okay, you have, like, 2 minutes to send this email. Go. And forcing myself to,
do you want a secret for getting rid of just out of your vocabulary?
Of course. I like secrets.
Instead of saying, I'm just checking in to see how you're feeling, because that word is designed to minimize you and make you more palatable and make sure that you're not bothering people. When in all actuality, what you mean is, I'm simply checking in to make sure you're okay. I don't want to bother you if you're tired. I don't want to do anything really. I'm simply doing this. So instead of saying just, replace it with the word simply, because it is exactly what you mean. I don't have a large request. It's not going to take a lot from you. I simply would like to know.
I just wrote that on my dry erase board because I'm going to use that. That is powerful because I hate it when I'm doing that. Like, hey, I'm just checking it. I hate that sentence. And I like constantly overthink it and retype it like 5 or 6 different ways. And I end up just being like, I don't have a better way to say this, and just go right back to it. And I'm like, send. And being done with it. I like that. I'm simply checking it. That is such a simple little powerful move.
Another good one. Instead of saying I think, and this will help you get out of your overthinking mode too. My thoughts are.
I'm writing that one down too.
So that way, when you're stuck in, what people don't really understand about ADHD a lot, what they should understand is that it's very similar to OCD in the ruminating thoughts and getting into a negative thought pattern, and which is overthinking, right? Just your brain moves real fast. When it runs out, when it runs out of positive aspect seeking things, it goes negative first. That's the easiest place to go. Our brain wants to go easy. That's all our brain wants because we're so smart. Why would we try and we don't want anything to be hard. That's another reason why we have executive dysfunction. Brain is not going to give you the go-go juice, the dopamine, the norepinephrine. It's not going to give you that if it perceives that task as uninteresting and difficult. Why would it?
Yep.
You're not an idiot. That doesn't look fun. That doesn't seem like there's any reason I want it. I wouldn't know, so not going to do. Thank you. So if we really master, this ruminating thought, oh my God, I'm so worried about this. Oh my God, I'm so worried. My thoughts are, you're worried about something that could or may not happen, because we get worried about what's going to happen in the future. We want to control everything in the future, right? But you have no control over what's going to happen, right? Like, you're going to get in the car and you're going to take the kid to school. Don't worry about if you're going to hit traffic, because is that going to control whether or not you hit traffic? No. Not at all. So when we get into a ruminating negative thought loop, say, what are my thoughts really? Like, what are my thoughts? And then it just gets easier.
I love that. I love that so much. I think we've talked about like a ton of challenges for Neuro-Spicy versus neurotypical. I love all of it. And I know what you do specifically is business coaching. So I want to pivot over into that for a moment, because I think we've talked about how hard this kind of stuff is for entrepreneurs and the challenges that we face as a Neuro-Spicy entrepreneur versus our neurotypical counterparts. So why does business coaching need to be different for Neuro-Spicy?
I'm so glad you asked. So my approach to managing negative ADHD and Neuro-Spicy symptoms is very energetic in nature, right? We have a cycle of high energy and low energy days. And although it's a cycle, they are unpredictable. So when you want to start a business, improve a business, or scale a business, we must factor in your energetic cycles, right? You're not going to be able to knock out 15 pieces of content on a low energy day. Because what we've been doing our whole lives while masking and trying to, accommodate everybody in our life and lie about our needs and not be ourselves is just have an energy drink, right? You're exhausted. Just drink it. Just have more coffee. Just have some more caffeine. Just push through, right? Just push through. And then we're all stuck in burnout now. Now we're all going, wait, for years, I didn't listen to my body. I didn't listen to my brain. I didn't honor my energy or my needs. And so what I help people do is enlist systems and energy optimization and anything, and incorporate anything that feels good into your life and business, so that you're not, swimming against the current all the time. So you're not doing it, all these other business marketers are out here. All these other business coaches are out here. They're talking about hustle, work hard, DM people. Blah. When do you want me to do that? I'm tired. When do you want me to do that? Can I do that from the couch? No. Do I get a nap when I do that? No. Do I have to work really, really late? Because I don't know about you. I started my business so I didn't have to work 30 hours a week anymore in a restaurant around people that I didn't like. And I started my business so I could work 10 to 15 hours a week tops. And so that I could be around people and involved with people who are part of my community and whose energy and personality I really enjoy. Because I spent 35 some odd years surrounded by people who I didn't enjoy. So, if I'm in charge of my well-being, and that lies in the success of my business and the success of other people's businesses, we have to do it differently. And it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. That's a big thing. I'll tell you what, I work with people with all sorts of businesses. All sorts of businesses. And the one common thread is that they are neurodivergent, they are neurospicy, and they are doubting themselves. So we figure out how to accommodate and embrace your needs and work that into your business strategy.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. I mean, it's so hard to find advice or to find people who get it. And it's like a lot of the advice is all the same thing. I can't tell you how many times I have Googled like how to focus as an adult. with ADHD so that you can get things done. And it's the same. It's like these things that aren't going to help you anytime soon. It's like manage your caffeine intake and, use timers. And like I use focusmate.com where you have another human that is co-working with you to body double. And, there's stuff like that. And some of it works and some of it is just like, what? Yep. The only thing I've ran into is Focusmate works for a while and then stops working because I'll forget it exists. Or I'll realize they can't actually see what I'm doing, so they don't know if I spin off.
Now, the people that say that we have a focus problem, that's not the case. Because you can hyper-focus on something that's real interesting, right? Mm-hmm. We can get stuck down a rabbit hole on our computer for 9 hours and go, oh, God, I haven't eaten. Oh, man, I got to pee. Holy crap, what time is it, right? Oh, yeah. Yep. We don't have an attention problem. We have a interest problem. If you're not interested in it, your brain doesn't want to do it.
Yep.
And
or you start interested in it and don't finish.
Now, are you not finishing it, or is it no longer providing the dopamine hits that it originally was because you got good at it? Because you mastered it?
Yep. Or I'll get the idea out of my head. So, like, I'll be started on a project like, hey, I'm going to do this webinar, and I get the cool part of the webinar done. And then there's the boring parts. Like, I have to actually go set up the emails, and I have to create the social posts, and I have to do the, but what I was really excited about was the material that I could present in the webinar. And I hyper-focused on that and got all the slides done. And I'm like, yes, score. And then it just sits in my computer and it never actually becomes a webinar.
What if you took it on the other way and you started posting about it and marketing it and building it as you do that? So that's an accountability feature of people being like, oh my God, I'm so excited. When's it come out? And you're like, oh, wait, you're right. Here it comes.
Yeah, I've done that a few times, and then I can like hyper focus and get it done like the night before. So I've tried that hack a couple of times. I don't think I like remember to use that hack as frequently as I probably should. Like I have a whole watch party thing coming on Monday that it's like I've had available. Being a Business Made Simple certified coach, we have all these like trainings from Donald Miller that we can host watch parties around. So I don't even have to. I just have to like invite people. And I can just play it and then answer like it's so stupid simple that I just didn't really do it. And I was like, I'm just going to do one. And I just put it like 2 weeks. It's happening tomorrow or happening Monday. It's like just hacking myself and being like, I'm just going to give it a date and we're just going to do a thing. And so that's been working a little bit better. I've tried that a few times. So that's a great hack.
Is it a hack or is it an accommodation for what your brain and the way your brain works needs?
That's a good way to think of it. That's a good way to think of it. I like that. So you were like,
if we know that our brain wants easy,
it seems. Yep. Come up with a way to make it easy. I think it's why people think I'm able to get so much done because I'm constantly launching so many new little things that they're like, oh man, 1 week you're doing this, next week you're doing this, next day you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. And it's like, well, yeah, because I just felt like it. So I did. Like, it's not hard because I just wanted to. So I did. Like we hosted a whole virtual event and I put the whole thing on in like 4 weeks. Creating the space in Gathertown and everything and like lining up like 16 speakers and just poofing it. And it was fun. And we're going to do it again every quarter now. So I've already got the next date so that I move.
You're killing it.
Trying.
Do you take a moment and pat yourself on the back and celebrate all of the successes and all the amazing things that are happening and that are on their way to you right now?
No, I just run. Do the next thing.
Because here's the thing. Why do we keep doing stuff if we're not going to be like, woo, we did it? Why, if we can't celebrate it, why are we doing it?
Yep. That's something I got to get better at, all the little wins. I do with the big wins, but I don't necessarily think about it with the little wins. So I've got a couple friends that it's like I've started being a lot more transparent about like what's going on in my head and what's holding me back and where I'm at. And like they've started helping me out that way and being like, okay, hang on, slow down, stop right here for a second. You need to recognize the good thing that just happened. And like I've got one friend in particular, Tiba, who's amazing. He calls me out on that kind of stuff all the time. He's like, come back to me for a minute. Like, you need to understand what just happened and how good it was. Do you understand? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure. And he's like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Come on. And he's like, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And I'm like, damn, I'm amazing. It's like when you hear it come back, and it's like, are you talking about me? Is that me? Is there another person you're talking about? Are you what? And yeah, it's a whole thing that I didn't even realize I wasn't doing until he started pulling me back and being like, hang on. And you just don't, it doesn't even sound like they're talking about you when somebody does that. Like they're talking about a whole different other person. It's not me.
As a fellow brightly hue-haired girl, woman, person, have you found, and this is something you can apply to that area of your life of just gratitude and celebration of, you know, achievements and awesomeness. I have now learned how to so easily take a compliment, because when you're walking down the street and somebody drives by and goes, I love your hair, all you can say is thank you. That's it.
Yep.
Sometimes too, if I'm a little loose, I'll go, me too.
Same. Same.
Because you know, we get so used to, if this happens and this is what I have to do, right? So for you, if I achieve this, then I got to do the next thing, because this is done. We got to do the next thing. But again, if we're not going to celebrate and acknowledge and enjoy the fruits of this labor, it's all just labor.
Yep.
I don't want that. I want ease. I want fun.
Yep. Oh man, that was
That's
so good. You have got so much amazing knowledge in your head. So I know I've kept you talking for like so long, and I am learning so much and so grateful. If somebody wants to like have this fun interaction with you and work with you, where can they go? What do you do? How do you work with people?
I'm so happy that you asked. So you can go to my website, you can go to my Instagram, but the best place to go and connect with me is on TikTok. It is my favorite it's my favorite platform. It's my happy place. It is where us neurodivergents find so much knowledge and solace and community, and it's really been my favorite. If you want to know anything about me, just go to TikTok. So on TikTok, I'm Mel, the Imposter Syndrome Coach. My website is mindsetmelanie.com. On Instagram, I'm Mindset Melanie. That was my original name on TikTok too, but my first account got banned at 45,000 followers last September. So we're coming up on the 1 year. Trauma response. Anyways, it's fine. These things, social media can be fickle. So if you want to work with me, you can apply for my 3 or 6 month coaching program. It's intensive. It's not for the faint of heart. It's for those of you that are really ready to hold yourself accountable and scale your business into a brand, or scale your brand into an empire. I'm your girl. I am here for it. You can also, if you're feeling stuck or stagnant and you want to know what your next steps are in your business, whether you're creating, improving, or scaling, and you are not ready for a very large time investment, then you want to go to my website and book what I call an intuitive strategy session. It's 30 minutes or 1 hour, you pick, and we're really going to go in quick, hard, and fast on what is holding you back. It's usually imposter syndrome, and create the framework and the steps moving forward to remove those blocks to your success so that you can be happy and fulfilled as quickly and easily as possible.
That is amazing. I will make sure we have all those links to TikTok, Instagram. I say I will. My assistant will, because she's way better at getting that kind of stuff done than I am. We'll make sure we have all of the links and everything wherever this video is posted, because we put it out all over the place. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been like insanely enlightening, and I'm feeling really motivated going into the weekend. So thank you so much. This was great.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy that we were able to connect.
Awesome. Guys, you can head over to etatoday.zone to watch Melanie, as well as lots of other experts that are going to teach you how to build a business that enables your life instead of taking over it. Until next time, guys. Bye.